Once upon a time, in a village where the sun kissed the golden fields and the wind carried whispers of old magic, there lived a widow with 2 daughters. One was her own, a lazy, ill-tempered girl with a heart as cold as winter's breath. The other was her stepdaughter, kind, diligent, and as radiant as the morning sun, though treated no better than a servant. From the moment the first rooster crowed to the last flickering candle of the evening, the stepdaughter toiled. She cleaned, cooked, and spun thread until her fingers bled, while the widow and her own daughter lounged, enjoying the fruits of her labor. No matter how much she suffered, the girl never complained, for her heart was pure, and she found solace in the fleeting beauty of nature. The way the wind rustled through the trees, how the brook murmured secrets to the stones, and the gentle glow of the stars above. One day, as she sat beside the well spinning, her hands aching from the endless work, a sharp sting caused her to jerk. A drop of crimson blossomed on her fingertip and stained the spindle. In her weariness, she leaned forward to wash it away, but her numbed hands betrayed her, and the spindle slipped from her grasp, vanishing into the dark depths of the well. Terror gripped her. She knew well that her stepmother's wrath would be terrible. Trembling, she peered over the edge of the well, hoping to catch a glimpse of the spindle's gleaming thread, but it was gone. Desperation took hold, and with a whispered prayer she leapt into the well after it. Instead of hitting cold water, she found herself floating, drifting downwards through what felt like a dream. A warm breeze wrapped around her, and before she knew it, she landed gently in a world unlike any she had ever known. The sky above was a soft, endless blue, and the air shimmered with the scent of wild flowers. Before her stretched a vast meadow vibrant with colors, where an old stone oven stood, its mouth glowing with fire. Inside, golden loaves of bread sat waiting. "Take us out," the loaves cried. "We are baked through and will burn." Startled but unwilling to ignore their pleas, the girl reached in, pulling each loaf out carefully and setting them neatly upon the stone. The scent of warm bread filled the air, and a deep sense of satisfaction settled over her as she continued on her way. Soon she came to an apple tree, its branches bending under the weight of ripe, glistening fruit. Shake me, my apples are ready to fall," the tree pleaded. She reached up, grasping the sturdy trunk, and gave it a strong shake. The apples tumbled down in a gentle rain, rolling across the grass. She gathered them into a neat pile before continuing down the winding path. At last she arrived at a quaint little cottage with ivy curling around its stone walls. On the doorstep stood an old woman with wise eyes and great gleaming teeth. "Ah, child, I have been expecting you," the woman crooned, her voice both gentle and knowing. "If you stay and work for me, you shall be well rewarded. But mind this. When you make my bed, you must shake it hard so the feathers fly, for that is what makes snowfall in the world above." The girl, eager to repay her kindness, agreed. She worked diligently, rising early each morning to sweep, cook, and shake the bedding with all her might until the air was filled with downy feathers. Snowflakes danced in the world above, and Mother Holle, for that was the woman's name, watched her with fondness. Days passed into weeks, and though her life was filled with labor, she was treated kindly, fed well, and cherished like a daughter. Yet as time went on, she longed for home. Though she had been treated poorly there, it was still the place of her childhood, and she wished to return. Sensing this, Mother Holle called her one evening and said, "You have served me well, dear child, and it is time for you to return." She led the girl to a great gate, and as it swung open, a golden light surrounded her. Suddenly, a shower of gold rained down, coating her clothes, her hair, her very skin with a radiant shimmer. This is your reward for your kindness and diligence, Mother Holle said before sending her back to the world above. When she emerged from the well, she found herself near her home, the familiar village just beyond. The rooster upon the fence flapped his wings and crowed, "Cock-a-doodle-doo. Our golden girl has come home anew." Her stepmother and stepsister, seeing her covered in gold, were filled with jealousy, though they masked it with false delight. Determined that her own daughter should receive the same riches, the widow sent her down to the well, instructing her to follow the same path. The lazy girl tumbled into the meadow, but when the oven called for her help she sneered, "I won't dirty my hands for you." When the apple tree pleaded for her to shake its branches she scoffed, "I might be hit on the head." At last she reached Mother Holle's house and was taken in. But laziness clung to her like a second skin. She refused to rise early, she barely shook the bedding, and no snow fell in the world above. After a short time, Mother Holle grew tired of her idleness and sent her away. As the girl passed through the great gate, instead of gold, a bucket of pitch poured down upon her, sticking to her clothes, her hair, her very skin. "This is your reward," Mother Holle said before closing the gate. The girl returned home, but the rooster crowed, "Cock-a-doodle-doo. Our sooty girl has come home too." No matter how much she scrubbed, the pitch would not come off, marking her forever as a testament to her sloth. Thus the kind girl lived a life of happiness and plenty, while the lazy one remained stained by her own choices. And so the world continued, rewarding the diligent and humbling the idle, just as it always had.